match comes to an end in what was an absorbing day of Test cricket, but I must also say what was a relatively slow day of Test cricket. And I'm saying relatively because after the high octane, high scoring Test matches which we've had recently, where runs have also been piled up and also have come at a very fast pace, this suddenly seems very different to what we have been experiencing in Test match cricket between India and England recently. Whether this is an anomaly, whether it is down to the conditions, whether it is the English approach which was different, whether it was some outstanding bowling by the Indian team, those are the things that we're going to dwell upon. We'll start with where England find themselves and where India find themselves. Which team do you think, and we can go across the room, which team do you think... before that, let me ask you that. The debate that we were having before. Yeah. Will Joe Root sleep well today?
I don't think so.
He's on 99.
Butterflies.
He'll have butter.
Yeah. Will I get to my 100? Did I make it an over late? Should I have gone for a boundary earlier? I think these things, I'm sure, they do cross a cricketer's mind. So I don't think he's going to sleep well. But I think with all the experience that he has had over the years, at least... it won't be a sleepless night for him. At least he'll be able to sleep for a few hours. But not a sound sleep.
We're trying to think what it must be through a cricketer's mind. Yeah. Let's ask the cricketer.
Because he has had all the experience, na?
He has. So let's ask somebody who's experienced it.
Oh, yes. Test cricketer.
No. I think
will he sleep well or not?
I feel that he'll sleep very well. You see, at the end of the day, nothing really changes with just that one run. I know that he could have...
Nothing changes?
That one run, as in nothing changes if he does not get it today. If he gets it tomorrow, nothing changes.
I thought you were saying how does it matter 99 on 100?
No.
That age old...
into Vian Mulder no, seriously.
Then that will be a different debate only.
No, I'm saying that...
Because the difference is only one run. What's the big deal?
Yeah. By the way, there is a latest update on Vian Mulder. So he has said that, he spoke with Lara and Lara told him that he should have gone for the right.
There you go! Lara himself is saying...
I just read it just before coming here.
Brain fade.
So what were you saying? No difference between...
There is no difference if he gets it, if he would have gotten it today or he gets it tomorrow.
No, that I know. Yeah, there's no... 100 is 100. But my point is, there is overnight 8-10 hours that he has to now spend. You have to sleep. If you sleep after 100, of course, you're still batting if he was assuming not out. But he knows, okay, he's achieved one major milestone. And he just wants to carry on from there. Now that nervous one run, and why I'm saying is because they cut to his close-ups also where Stokes could have taken that single and even he was smiling. How Jadeja was playing with him. If it didn't matter to him, let's say, how does it matter today or tomorrow? He wouldn't have engaged in that banter with Jadeja that I want to take a run. He wouldn't be with so many expressions when Stokes played a dot ball.
I'm not saying that it wouldn't matter. It would definitely be a thought in his head right now once he's going back to the pavilion. But I don't think he's going to dwell a lot on that. There will be a team meeting where the plan on how England should really approach the game on day 2 will be discussed. Lots of things will happen. By the time he reaches, he'll know that I'm just one run away. Early in the morning, I'll reach. Just one run, I'll score and I can celebrate freely and then carry on my innings from there. He would have wanted that he gets it today itself. But even though if he hasn't got it, I don't think it's going to change a lot.
Sleep well. He'll eat good dinner and go to sleep.
He'll have to sleep well after that ice bath that he takes.
No, not necessarily.
He has to wake up and bat again whole day.
No, he has to, but will he?
He will.
He will be very nervous.
Experience, he himself has 700s on this ground. Just another one adding to the kitty.
I wish life was as simple as Shashwat makes. I've got 7, one more. How does it matter?
No, I think that is how he'll deal with it.
No, he'll be very nervous because considering the fact that he will have to get that one run 8-9 hours later with the second new ball where anything can happen because he almost popped one to Akashdeep towards the fag end of the day. And he will also be aware that, okay, that burden of that 100 is done today itself. I can plan my innings better, but then I have to start cautiously. I have to ensure that if I don't get dismissed early, it won't lead to a collapse and all those other things. It will be circulating along his mind. And let's make one thing clear, even if you get 7 or 1700s at a particular venue, you will always be nervous of that one run when you approach tomorrow with a new ball. If it was the old ball, then I think his nervousness would have been a little bit less. But to the second new ball, I think he will be very nervous.
And it's a long wait. I mean, it's a good 15, 16 hour wait now before he can even get to the crease and get that one run. But anyway, it's a matter of time. It does seem like he's almost there, but you never know. 99. There have been players that have been out. Who knows what happens? Okay.
I mean, nothing can be more heartbreaking at Lords than Michael Atherton getting run out on 99 in the Ashes. I mean, remember, he got a run. He wanted to turn back. He slipped. He got run out. And he never got 100 after that in Lords, if I'm not mistaken.
So Root ensured he doesn't have to go through that at least. We did not
If
take
he would
the
have been
single.
in a hurry, he could have gotten down today itself.
Jadeja
Like he
tempted him
popped
to
that
take
one.
that other run.
No, he did seem like a hurry. If you see that 2 that he takes to get to 98 from 96 to 98, to me it looked like a desperate shot. I don't think he would have otherwise played it. And I think he was aiming for the boundary. But then he got 2 runs. So I think he was keen. But maybe if he does not, maybe they'll go back to thinking about how much time they wasted with those insects and all or other. They would have got 1 or 2 overs more. That would have happened and probably he got there. Okay. Anyway, he's on 99 and England on 251 for 4. Yeah. Which team is the happier of the two?
I think I'll stick to what I said at the tea time. It's still pretty much even Stevens. I would say England like very slightly ahead of India. Cannot like really go into the percentages, but it's a score wherein you talk about England. I think at this stage they would have probably thought that had we had some more runs, into our kitty, I think we would have probably been in a more comfortable position, because you come early on day 2, and if India strike very early, this total can very well be from 251 for 4 to about 270 odd for 6 or 7. And then you say that India actually piled on all the pressure on day 1 and now they are reaping the rewards for it. So I think still pretty much 50-50, just slightly ahead because of the wicket margin, because India would have probably had, it probably would have been India's day had they gotten a couple of more wickets. But I think, this still looks pretty evenly matched.
I think for me, England are the happier team today, because they have not lost many wickets. Okay, the scoring rate has been like a typical good throwback to those pre-Bazball times, sure, but they have negated India's main threats in their pace bowlers. And Stokes also started to look okay, he's still very scratchy. Root is looking good. So I think 2 batters plus with Jamie Smith to come, and if a total of 350 plus or 400 can be achieved from this springboard, I think they'll be very, very happy with this. Today, whatever needed to click for them, barring the top order, the middle order clicked. And that is what they'll be very happy about.
I think England would be clearly the much happier team. I'm saying even if this ends up, it ends up like a complete collapse from here, they will still anyways reach 300. And I think 300 in the first innings on this wicket, and especially the way the ball is playing, and plus also I know that the weather forecast as of now does suggest that there will be no rain at least till day 5. But then we also have to realize that India will be batting by then, by the time the weather starts to get a little, cloudy, in that sense. So I feel that 300, 320, as soon as they have these many runs on the board, India will be on back foot, and then India will have to play catch up and really bat out of their skins to actually go and at least match up to the kind of runs that England have scored. And at this point of time, the way Ben Stokes and Joe Root are batting, it looks very difficult that they will lose their concentration or something like that will happen. I think Ben Stokes is playing really unlike the Ben Stokes that we know, and maybe it's just suiting him as well.
I mean, before I even get into the scorecard and who's really ahead, I think one major point, and this is also answering the question which team would be happy. I'm looking at it from India's point of view. If I'm India, I'm not happy, and I'll tell you why. Before I even get to the context of score or where they are. The fact is that I came into this match where I myself thought that if I won the toss, I'd be bowling first, which meant that I was expecting something from my bowlers today. That's another thing. I lost the toss, but I got what I wanted. So at least in my head, and I'm looking at my expectation, that I think my bowlers will do something. Now, if that was the case, who are the bowlers that we were banking upon to do the job for India today. It was definitely going to be the two heroes of last test match, Akashdeep and Siraj. And now with a Jasprit Bumrah coming, I went into this test match saying that if I get the first day, and now with my three-man pace attack, which is on fire, which is on form, they should do the job for me today. That's how at least I started the day. Now when I finish the day, I'm looking at my scorecard, and out of the 4 wickets that have fallen, 2 came courtesy a bowler who I wasn't expecting anything on the day, maybe as a change-up bowler or a backup bowler, Nitish Kumar Reddy, and 1 again from a spinner whose forte wasn't really this pitch. So effectively between my 3-man pace attack, which was today was to set the stage on fire, at least that is what I expected, they've returned with 1 wicket for me. And that is now, when I'm looking at it from India's point of view, is a worrying sign for me. That is not what I bargained for. Ideal day for me would have been, as an Indian captain, that at least my pace attack gets me, if nothing, 4 odd wickets or so between the 3 of them. And I'm being conservative. 4 odd wickets. And then if something came by via Nitish Reddy and Ravindra Jadeja, that's a bonus. But at least my pace attack, I'm guessing each of them to pick a wicket or 2. And if that is the case, then I'm at least 5 wickets have come via my 3 pace attacks. However, they share those wickets. One makes the pressure, other gets the wickets, whatever. And then I feel satisfied. Now that's not happened. So that has me worried first thing. Then I have to sit back and then examine why that is the case. The only ray of hope, and maybe you guys can dwell into, the only ray of hope for India now is, and that happened while batting, is that Ben Stokes wasn't looking very comfortable while batting. I think he wasn't even running on a lot of occasions. I'm guessing he has a groin issue or something like that, which is now telling me, because there will be a stage where I'll be up against the English bowling lineup, and to me, Ben Stokes is a far more accomplished bowler in that lineup, and on these conditions could have been a threat to me. I'm not sure that he's bowling, and then that gives me some sort of solace and some sort of happiness. I don't know what you guys made of Ben Stokes, but I did not see him run on a lot of occasions. He clearly is struggling with, he may bat, he may concentrate, but I doubt he's bowling in this.
I think that's one of the major reasons why he did not bowl much in the second test also. He did bowl a lot of overs in the series opener, but not much in the second test. And if that's the case, then I think England attack looks a lot weaker. You have Chris Woakes, who is not in form, and I'm not sure how much assistance he's going to get from this wicket on a consistent basis. Then there is Bryden Cars, who has been pretty inconsistent. Jofra Archer is returning to the fold after 4 years, and Shoaib Bashir hasn't really looked good at all. So overall, I think this England attack does not inspire confidence, which probably indicates one thing, or which gets me to one point, that 400 then might not be enough for England, because at Lords, if one thing that we have seen is that as the match progresses, the wicket does get easier to bat on, something that we saw in the WTC final also this time around. So maybe, just maybe, 400 may not be enough.
I have a contrary take to that, and I'll tell you why. Again, just as I think one hope that India does have is Ben Stokes not bowling, and I agree with you that we have now begun to see Lords where conditions get better to bat on. I was thinking about that. Now there are various factors, if I was to observe first day, that tells me that might not be the case. The first thing that comes to my mind has been England's approach. I agree that India has bowled well, but I think the fact that even someone as naturally aggressive like a Ben Stokes or an Ollie Pope to that extent, I think the way that they have kind of batted, I could be wrong, but I have a feeling, now I'm just trying to gauge England's point of view, they're the home team. I was surprised when they won the toss and decided to bat, and now it's making sense to me. Now when I see their approach and the way and the decision of winning the toss batting first, to me it feels like in England's mind, this pitch is going to get worse and first inning total is going to be most crucial. I have a feeling that England also know in their second inning, they might struggle. So first inning scope big, which is where I go back to, if it was a even Steven test match where batting gets better, then as I said, 300, 320 is sort of a average total where you go for. I think the reason England have approached this and have been very mindful of how they're batting is because they suspect that this pitch might get worse progressively. That's why they won the toss also and batted first to ensure India bat second. And their aim now is a 450 sort of a first inning total. Because then if you have a collapse in the second innings or whatever, it'll keep getting worse. I have a feeling that they are focusing a lot on their first innings, and this is how they will be batting. And if you even see, and I'll tell you why that is happening, I was reading again some local reports from that because of that heat that has been coming, you might start seeing up and down bounce as the test match progresses. If you have seen already one major difference, what is the one major difference that we've seen from the test matches that happen in Leeds and Edgbaston, even though the movement here is more and things like that, but the one major difference is those pitches were slightly more quicker. When I mean quicker, the ball was coming onto the bat really nicely. You saw the carry to the keeper also much higher. This time around, the carry to the keeper has been a bit low, which is telling me that it's not such a fast track, and which, you know, if that sun keeps baking down at 8, you might have a situation where you will see up and down. Already you saw few signs of it with certain balls remaining low and not carrying to the keeper. Already you are seeing it with the Ravindra Jadeja, and I think that's the best indicator, because for fast bowlers this effect will come later. Certain balls, you saw one root delivery, how it shot up from a good length, and there was another in that same over which just didn't rise, and you could hear Jurel and Jurel saying ye uthi nahi bilkul. I'm saying this is happening on first day. Now 3 days of sun beating down, there is a possibility, and I think that's how England have judged it. They could again be wrong. Again, all of this is conjecture. All of this is not exact science. It's how teams are seeing. Maybe it works in India's favor and England got it wrong and the pitch gets better. But at least I'm seeing it from how what England has seen. I think in their minds, first inning is the best time to get runs. So get 450. After that, it will become up and down. We'll also struggle. India will also struggle. And then these runs will become most important towards the end of the game.
And the ball is already turning as well.
Lots
that's
of grip
something
on
we
offer,
haven't seen at Lord's. I think that was probably the case in the WTC final also, because if we look at the first 2 innings of the match, I think it was very difficult to bat on for both Australia and South Africa. But in the 4th innings, the way Aiden Markram batted, and so was the case with other South African batters, it did not really look like that there were too many demons on the pitch. So what I'm trying to say here is that maybe as the match progresses, it could either go in England's favour, assuming they get to about 400, 450. But
there was a difference in that pitch, which is why I'm saying that the chances of that pitch getting better, and
but I think that also had some invariable bounce.
Yeah, but there was a difference in that pitch. And why will the invariable? One, it had a lot more grass than this. Okay, you left it like that, so that's why it kept easing and getting better.
Lively grass,
and so that is why the first 2 innings were tougher to bat on, because also it was before the start of the heat and the heat wave and the summer.
There was rain prior
so
to that.
they batted much earlier. So that's why as soon as the sun kept baking down, it kept getting better. Because imagine a pitch that's not really gotten that much of sun, and so it got better. A lot of moisture to begin with, very tough. This is a reverse situation completely, where they've artificially tried to create that moisture and left very little grass, which is why I think 4th inning. Again, as I said, maybe at the end of 3 days, you're right and I'm wrong. But I'm just looking at how.
I think just from that perspective, just one point, Siddharth. Then maybe I think India playing 2 spinners does also make some kind of sense.
Maybe, but then you always
because
remember.
It's going to maybe dry out, so then spinners might just come.
But India is not playing because of that reason. The intention behind that is to deepen your
whatever
batting.
the intention, maybe if it works for you. But I don't know whether. See, if you remember when it becomes up and down condition, then you actually rely more on your fast bowlers. You keep saying, oh, wish I had fast bowlers who would bowl that good length and then trouble you so much than spinner. With spinner, you have that additional time to tackle that uneven bounce. But again, all a matter of...
See, this time your weather conditions at Lord's are going to be hot and it will be sunny throughout. So it will bake the pitch a lot more, okay? Now the last time if I have to just go back on memory, the last time I'd seen this kind of a pitch where it was baking down and it was hot throughout was the 2013 Ashes. England versus Australia.
Good point.
Okay?
Yeah.
There, the pitch became absolutely spin friendly after day 3. And Australia absolutely collapsed.
I think England scored a
350.
a high scoring first innings.
Yeah.
And then after that, Australia, they
Then
crumbled.
Bell also hit a century. He got about 270, 280. Australia had to chase 400 plus. You lost by 340 runs in that match. Okay. Here, when you look at it, WTC final, the big difference was you had rain. Couple of weeks you had rain. So it allowed the pitch to just retain some amount of moisture. But we know at Lords, it's like the basin in Wellington. It starts off difficult, but then it absolutely eases out. Irrespective of condition, this time you're not going to get cloud cover. Now we know with this brand of Duke's ball, you need cloud cover. Which is why I think this intent which is there, if India don't get England on the 350, they'll have to play catch up, and that's why they are not the happier team at this, because you're combined when you look at it. 49 overs from my pacers, 3 main pacers, has yielded a total of 143 runs, although economy rate of less than 3. 49 overs, economy of less than 3, but then only 1 wicket. That is worrying for me.
See, I agree that at the end of the day, it's also helped India that they've not allowed England to get away. Whether it's England's approach or India's good bowling, whichever you look at it, at least they've, on another day, this could have been 350 for 4. If England would have batted, and then you're really staring down the barrel, I guess. So that is that glimmer of hope and has kept India, even though it's a day, if you look at it overall, with just 4 wickets, it's not really ideally India's day, but because they've gotten 250, you don't think they've gone so far ahead of the game. But I think that's exactly what I'm saying. Now, if I am England, now look at it from England's point of view, if I've got 250 for 4, anything below 400 is going to mean that I've not batted to potential from here on. Even if it was India at 250 for 4, I think I would have said the same thing, that now you've reached 250 for 4, 400 should be your target, and I think that's a gettable target now, because now that anywhere between 300, 320 should not be something that you should be satisfied with. That's another 80, 90 runs with 6 wickets in hand. I think that wouldn't be ideal. So 400, and that's in a test match, a Lord's last few test matches, if you take out, every time England's got a 400 once and they've got 300 also, every time you get a 400, you're not losing the test match in Lords, no matter how better the pitch then gets a little later. So, tomorrow then again, it's going to be crucial that India, it's not that India cannot dismiss them for 320. It's possible. It is. And they are susceptible to that sort of a collapse as well. India come out differently. They've got the new ball, and the new ball, as we spoke earlier, Duke's about 10, 12 overs it takes to really get into effect. And that'll ideally happen tomorrow. You get a route out, Stokes not looking 100%, it gives you a chance to be in the game. But for India's sake, they'll have to ensure that no more than 100 runs from here on.
Absolutely.
Because
there has to be an England collapse.
Is it safe to say that, okay, Edgbaston was the test for new ball? Because there you got wickets primarily with the new ball.
Correct.
But that was because there was nothing on the wicket.
But in Lords, is it going to be the question of your first session? Is it going to be the test of the first session only? Because
tomorrow will be. If you let England get away in the first session and not lose, maybe even 1 wicket, then you are up against it. You pick up 3 wickets first session tomorrow, game on.
Yeah, because see, first session in day 1 was the only time in which your bowlers looked to be creating a lot of chances. Second session just died down. Third session, luckily you got first wicket, you got first ball, Ollie Pope. But then after that, it took a peach from Bumrah to dismiss Harry Brook. So there's nothing off the wicket that it has been done. It was Ollie Pope, nothing of the wicket, nothing in the conditions. It was just a waft, lapse in concentration. How many wickets can you boil it down to something either of bowler skill or something of the wicket? Only 2. Rest all, it's been the batters giving wickets. Brook and Crawley, that's about it. Who have been undone by some good deliveries. Otherwise, Duckett, you gifted your wicket away. Brook,
Pope, wouldn't you say? It was a good ball.
Wasn't it a waft? It was a waft, lapse
It
in
was a regular
concentration.
ball.
Still,
Outside
he
of
got
stump, he went
beat.
For the drive.
Yeah, that's how you entice it. That's what
There was
that's
extra
how a
bounce.
spinner picks wickets. Yeah. If
There
you're going
was
to take
extra
that away
bounce.
also from the spinner, then
There was
But
extra
it was more
bounce on it
lapse
as
of
well.
concentration.
No, it was. See, ideally, a batter shouldn't have gone for it. If you remember, he played and missed a similar delivery before he was dismissed in a previous over of Jadeja, I remember.
That spooked him. I think that set about doubts. Because remember, it suddenly pitched on middle, gripped and turned away with extra bounce. Root also kind of undone by that extra bounce. Remember, Jurel appealed, but there was no bat. So that is the thing. He got spooked and he let his guard down first ball after any session. Why do you think that 1 hour is always important? You have a waft and he's given. So 2 wickets that I will say were gifted. 2 wickets which were of skill. One Crawley and one Brook. But this is where the problem is. Only those 2 bowlers, one you didn't expect, one you expected, produced the result. The other 2 haven't done it. And I think that is a bigger worry.
Akashdeep suddenly, very surprising, has looked really, really ordinary today.
Although-
Especially, I thought that this in Lodge he'll look even more, much better, and he'll get the conditions will be by on his side. But he's looked very ordinary. I don't know what has suddenly happened.
Although he did create chances.
Should we say just look at how expensive has he
Sure,
been?
but then don't you think, if you look at it, some of the guys were lured into more false shots of Akashdeep's bowling. Yes, an inside edge happened. So many inside edges came of Akashdeep.
Can I be honest? Forget wickets or anything. I'm not just looking at that. Your most potent bowler today has been Nitish Kumar Reddy.
Yes.
Honestly.
Even in that second spell, he almost got Ben Stokes out.
It
That was
was
an
out.
umpire's
I don't know
call.
how it wasn't it out.
No, because of that angle. If you see, the angle was very wide, and that's why it goes like that. I know a lot of people are surprised that it should, but if you see from the angle that he delivers,
But he'd come,
it's going
he'd
down.
shuffled a lot.
I agree.
Leg stump was visible.
Yes, I agree. But which is why the impact is in line. But see where the ball pitches and where the impact is. That's telling you how much further it's going. And let's not forget why it's moved that much that he was very close to the 3-meter mark. He's really further ahead. So if you're bowling in that angle, had it been much closer to the wicket, it would have probably gone. Because he's so further away from the pitch, that chance of a movement down is even more. So I guess. But I'm just saying, overall, he's looked like the most in control, which is what takes me back to that point. He wouldn't have been that effective in the Leeds and Edgbaston pitches because they were quick off the pitch. They were quicker. Here, there has been that, bit of sluggishness about the pitch, bit slower compared to other, where then you need bowlers who really can, that mild movement of the pitch.
Teasing you.
It's because if you see Akashdeep, how he hurried onto a lot of batters with his seam movement. He also hurried onto the batter. Bumrah used to get wickets like that because of his movement, but he would, really hurry onto the bat. Now, because this pitch is a bit sluggish, and then it allows you that extra second to negotiate that seam movement or that late movement that a Bumrah or Akashdeep has got. Which is where then you need someone like a Nitish Kumar Reddy who is gentle, leaves the ball in the air, gives it that much more time to get extra movement, and that marginal movement that either takes your edge or catches
really
you.
well.
That Lord's wicket, look, you already got a glimpse of the WTC final also. The one common thing from that WTC match and this, it's not carrying through to the slips, which indicates the wicket is soft. It isn't
Exactly.
hard. And if you have that soft under, the problem is the pace will come slowly. Which is why I think Akashdeep's struggling. And let us be very honest, they will all say, how come Akashdeep's struggling? It's very hard for a player playing for the first time at Lord's to adjust to his line and lengths. It is
Slope.
that slope, yes. It is very difficult. It's one of the most difficult places to get your line and let adjusted if you have not played for the first time. If you played Siraj, I think bowled in good lines. Bumrah, we don't even need to mention. Any wicket you give him, he can turn up. But Akashdeep, I think he hasn't adjusted to line and length because slope or no slope. In Lords, it's even ask some England bowlers, they'll also struggle.
See, the same logic then applies to the batters. While Indian batters, that's what I'm saying. It'll be a test of Indian batters. Not that because it's overcast conditions or a movement, not all of that. They also enjoy where the ball really comes onto the bat. That quicker pitch that you got at Leeds, but all of them are stroke makers. Gill, Yashasvi, Jaiswal. They like the ball to really come onto the bat and they play through the line, those cut shots. Right. Now when it becomes this a bit sticky with the low bounce, then it's a very different scale to adjust. That's why I'm saying another version of Indian batters
will be up.
Will have
It's not going to be so easy run scoring.
not like Leeds and Edgbaston.
And I'll generally be very impressed by Yashasvi Jaiswal if he somehow manages to get runs
Yeah.
over here again.
Because see,
I'll be very impressed.
Out of the top order, and I'm counting until number 8, only 2 have played at Lords before.
Yeah, only KL Rahul, Rishabh Pant are the 2 batters who've
No,
given.
Ravindra
Ravindra Jadeja has played.
But I'm saying these
No,
two batters
Rishabh
are the.
hasn't played at Lords.
Why? He
Why
played the
he's
last
played
test.
21.
Red
21?
2021.
21?
Yeah, he was batting at number 6.
Okay.
18 also
okay.
had made his debut by then, right?
He had already
Yeah.
played.
No, 2018 he
He had
made
Made his
his
debut
South
in
Africa
England
only.
only.
Yeah.
He made his debut in England only.
after the Lords test.
21
After
team,
the
he
Lords
was there,
test.
no? He was
Yeah,
batting
yeah,
at
he
6,
played.
Jadeja was 7.
7. So 3. Only 3 guys have played at Lords. Rest, it will be a trial.
I
of
hope
fire.
he was playing. We can.
Yeah,
check.
yeah, he
I think
was.
he was. Because I know that India played 4 fast bowlers. Jadeja was the lone spinner, and the rest was batting. I think Pant was at
This
6.
is Pant's third England tour.
Fourth England tour, 22.
No,
They came back now for that one test.
that won't be counted. No.
Yeah, he scored a
One,
century
one,
there.
one.
Yeah. So
Only
yeah,
these
3
two
guys
batters are
have.
somebody.
3 guys have played.
A word on Joe Root, gents.
I think exemplary innings under the kind of pressure that he was. The first couple of matches, I really thought personally that Indian bowlers have done enough preparation to keep him quiet, and that was the case. Barring that second innings.
That's
of
why you
the
didn't
Leeds
expect a
test.
100 here as well.
Yeah,
from him.
absolutely. I did not expect, but
Even
I
though
think
he had
so-
a start, but Siddharth felt that
yeah, I
100
actually
is not
felt that
coming.
because the point is that
you may still be right.
yeah, you
He's
never
not
know.
99.
But I think but it's still a very good 99. I think I've been
Yeah.
proven wrong, in that case, although. But I think in case of Joe Root, definitely a different batter. We talk about pre-COVID, there were a lot of 50s, and even this time around also. What happens with Joe Root is that if he does not get runs for a few 2 or 3 test matches, he actually knows what to do to just get back into form. He did that against, I think, New Zealand also, after those rank turners in Pakistan, wherein he found it difficult to score. Against New Zealand, he got to a couple of hundreds, and now here also, after not so good outings in the first 2 matches, I think he has just done what England needed it. You just need to let him be, and I think he has just shown.
Pant
the
did
class.
play in 2021, 37 and 22. That's what
There
he
you go.
scored,
He
yeah.
batted at 6,
He
I
batted
remember.
at 6 years. So on Joe Root, I mean, he's now, by the end of this match, he could potentially be the 3rd highest run getter in tests. By the end of the series, he will be a clear 2nd highest run getter, because after Callis and Dravid, he only needs to go past
I think you said
Ricky Thomas Ponting.
Yeah, you said
13-3-7-8.
one more thing, that if he gets to about 500 or 600 runs in the Ashes, then he'll be about 2,000
Less than
or,
2,000 runs
2,000s behind
behind
Tendulkar.
Sachin Tendulkar, if he has a great Ashes.
But forget where he reaches, and I think that's a debate for another day, because he's still playing. So I think the debate is when he's nearing Sachin, or if he decides to retire anytime. I don't think there are any signs of him slowing down, so I don't think retirement should be on his mind, at least till the near future. Who knows what happens a year, 2 years down the line, but right now, and I think today was a masterclass. It was a masterclass in very different conditions to what you have encountered so far. He didn't get runs there, but kind of showing you where you need to have patience, where you need to sometimes play with soft hands, as he was here, with the conditions that were there, and as I said, that uneven bounce. And even against spinners, Jadeja looked quite potent against most players, Stokes or Ollie Pope before that. But I think Root is then showing you what a master player he is, even against spinners. So I think today was a masterclass, doing nothing out of the ordinary. I can think of only a couple of shots where I thought that he was taking a bit of a risk. The first shot that I saw was the one where he got off the mark, hitting that boundary through the covers, and had he edged that one, because it was a wide delivery by Siraj and he went for it, the test match would have looked very different. But once he got that, after that it was flawless, didn't create too many chances. Then towards the end, where he was on 96, where he was so eager to hit a boundary to get to 100, only twice he showed nerves, but otherwise totally in control. When he got to his 50, he also didn't celebrate much. As in, like, big thing is 100. Yeah.
I think once he was on in his 30s, 20s, 30s when we were talking at lunchtime, I think at that point only I was very sure that from here a batter like Joe Root is never going to leave an opportunity to score 100. That is why
still not reached.
Still not reached. But that is why he is one of the greatest players like Joe Root. This is Joe Root territory. The wicket is suiting him. The way England is approaching their batting is really suiting him, and he's just loving it. I think it's just bread and butter. He just needs to wake up, come here, and score those runs. I think it's not. That is why he's one of the greatest. He knows how to score runs, and that's exactly what he's done. And I will be very scared of Joe Root moving ahead in this series from now, because once players like him, शेर के मुंह पे what is that?
शेर को
खून लग जाता है. So that has happened with Joe Root. So once he's gotten
meat निकाला ना, that's the thing.
No, but he खून.
That. So now I'll be very scared of him, because
once the tigers tasted blood, that's what he means to say.
After that, he likes to have it every day.
Achha, talking about tigers, one in the Indian camp is Rishabh Pant. Is he going to be coming out to bat? Because he's till the end of the day's play, he didn't come out to keep.
I think it's more of a precautionary measure that
he
hasn't come out to keep. But
you talk to somebody over there, na?
No, I was told he's okay.
How
many times will I ask?
Even I read it that he's fine.
He's
nothing
fine.
major.
It's just a precautionary measure. Yeah, I think he will be allowed to bat in his
absolutely
normal
because
position.
it's an external injury. Yes.
Not. So yeah.
Plus, he may come to keep tomorrow, so that time will also be done.
Possible.
But Joe Root, yeah.
But that actually gave an opportunity for Jurel to keep, and he was outstanding behind the stumps.
Terrific. That catch.
Outstanding. Catch and all the takes. When I was telling you, the Jadeja was going up and down with the bounce. He was.
I think the one on Joe Root, that was the best take of the lot.
Of Jadeja, na? Yeah.
No, and the catch of Oli Pope, I think just to come after the tee and have it on the very first ball, I think that in itself shows that how concentrated you need to be. You were never expecting on the very first ball that such a catch will come, and he took that. It was on the bounce. Really, he's a very good wicket keeper.
I mean, of course, India's
is he better wicket keeper than Rishabh Pant?
Wicket keeping,
yeah.
I would say so. Wicket keeping.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's a very
Rishabh's not had an ideal time behind the stumps so far in the series. Jurel was flawless.
Exactly.
But that does not mean that Jurel goes ahead of Pant. Pant the batter, eyes closed, I will play him.
And it's a very old school sort of a wicket keeper. Just like that, he'll not stand up very soon with the bounce. Very
nice. If you look at pre-Rishabh Pant and post-Rishabh Pant, you look at his replacements. Prior to that, old school, great wicket keeper, but his batting was solid but not dazzling.
Ridhiman, yeah. Saha was the best.
Yes, Bharat.
No patch. One of the best, and I'm not saying in history of Indian cricket, one of the best wicket keepers that you've had, Ridhiman Saha.
Absolutely.
Outstanding.
Yeah,
outstanding
clearly.
as a keeper.
Dhruv Jurel can also be like that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying early days, no? With Saha we saw for an
But even
extended
KS Bharat was a very good wicket keeper.
Yeah.
He used to play.
But yeah, sure. But we are talking like the top level.
Yeah.
Safe, you may say KL for the chances that he got as a keeper?
No.
KL, I think KL, the batter, deserves our attention at this moment rather than KL and his wicket keeping. Because just as for India, Root has stood up. If India have to make a match out of it and compete and at the same level, you will need a KL Rahul to step up in these conditions. I mean, if I had to pick two batters, I'd go with Pant and KL. Because I'm also looking at the best defense, right?
Also
You need good now, but still, if I have to just pick two, I'm not going to take Jaddu ahead of a KL or Pant, will I? No.
But then
KL Rahul will have
to. Shown that he can be defensive.
I'm not denying that, but there is a chance, Yashashvi might score runs, or a Gill might score runs, or Karun Nair might score runs. I don't know, but I'm saying two batters who I most see, like for England, I'd said it before, the one batter that I most see get runs for them.
Ben Stokes also, he's really batting well.
Yeah, he's applying himself. He's not 100% as I mentioned. I doubt he'll bowl.
I'll be scared of him
really applying. But he's still on moments looks susceptible. You know that okay, there is a chance you can get him out. Spinners also trouble him.
Especially
once in
that
a while.
over by Bumrah. I think he could have been LBW 3-4 times had he
Yeah.
not gotten it, or was he not falling over in that sense. So yeah.
Yeah, but with Root it doesn't look like that. Unless he gives you a chance by playing a
Or a
careless
ball like-
stroke.
Or
Huh.
a crack or something like
Or
that.
Nitish Reddy that to Zach Crawley, your favorite batter. And then
Joseph
he got out.
Edward Root.
No, favorite for this series I'd pick Rishabh Pant na. As his
Are
batter
from
over.
England, yeah.
Yeah, from England.
Better than KL Rahul, Zach Crawley.
He doesn't know about Craig Brathwaite, yeah.
No, I know.
Then what is the milestone that he's got?
This something like very similar to this, right?
100 tests,
100 test matches,
32.
average 30,
As
not
an
even 32,
opener.
it's 31 point something, not
Yeah.
even
No,
32.
Crawley same.
But
56,
he's not
58.
Half of that, yeah.
And also, Besto is not an opener, yeah. That's right. But he's also
Besto got a silver cap or something. No?
great. He played 100 tests. His 100 tests was
Why are
Dharamshala.
you
na?
laughing? It's an achievement.
I
yeah.
know.
He got a silver cap. Did you see?
I'm
Before the
just
test match
laughing, you know.
started.
Dharamshala or here?
How come he even
Why
Yeah.
here?
Arre, because he had completed the test match
Okay.
there, ECB have given him.
Oh.
How
yeah,
come
nah.
he actually, got a place in the side and, went on to play 100 matches?
No.
I thought he...
Baffling.
I can tell you there are players in this team who will think about the same once.
But he
they
has
complete.
hundreds na in test matches.
He has.
Crawley doesn't have.
No, Crawley
Just
would have
500s.
How many does he have?
How many?
552
Pawan, how
games.
many?
Just 5.
So that's in every
I
10
thought
games.
must be
7 is his
two.
highest.
Then one he's. Then we are not wrong about
How
him
many
being an
hundreds
X factor.
Bairstow
na?
has in test cricket? Johnny
You said
Bairstow?
10 games, 1 performances.
And Johnny
Yeah,
Bairstow?
so every 10 games he's getting
Johnny
one.
Bairstow must have had
Oh,
around
come
8 or
on.
9, I guess.
Yeah, close to 10. He had 200s
I
in
didn't think
Australia.
he'd have
Like
more than
Nitish
three.
Kumar Reddy has surprised all of us.
Both in
If in second innings
Arre,
Crawley comes
Zach
and
Crawley.
gets hundreds.
12.
Ah,
Johnny
12.
is
See,
12.
there's a big difference.
100 na. So same logic. Every 10 games they are getting one.
No, how many does? No. When am I saying that Besto is a great batter?
No. I'm
So
saying
why you
Every 12
comparing him?
games he has 100.
Bairstow had only one.
Where he's laughing on Besto, and you are happy comparing Crawley to Besto, and you are like, see,
Bairstow would have gotten the silver cap for walking at Lords. And he got run out. I thought he would have gotten a silver cap for that.
no, yeah,
That was peak England, peak Johnny Bairstow.
Bairstow only had, I think, one brilliant test season. I think 2017, 2018, when he scored about 1200 or 1300 odd runs.
I think that's South Africa.
Apart from that,
series, yeah.
nothing major to
But this
show.
all of this started because of Bazball, that they started getting white ball specialists into Test cricket.
No, he was also very smart. 10, 12 test matches, he would go no runs, then we would say drop Besto,
He
then
will
he'd
have
get
it.
100.
Yeah.
Then drop Besto, then again 10 matches, drop Besto, 100.
100, yes.
Like that.
I mean, remember Perth? He was involved in that altercation at that bar. And then with that 100, he just did this. Because that was, he didn't have form, he didn't have anything.
Same in which Malan also scored 100.
Malan scored.
They were-
Okay, let's dive down
Where is he
to
gone?
Malan
Malan.
is
Now,
He used
Gun
to be
for
number
hire.
1 batter, this, that.
number
Malan,
one
Malan,
T20
Malan.
batter,
Yeah.
he never picked him in the IPL.
No, he was
No, he got
picked. He
picked.
was picked.
When he was number one.
he got
He
picked.
got picked. He was in
That
SRH. or
it came in a
SRH.
mini auction.
Punjab
Yeah.
Kings.
Punjab Kings.
Punjab.
Yeah, Punjab. I remember.
He
They
and
used to like to
Bhanuka
pick such
Rajapaksa.
players.
was
And
picked
he
for
didn't
his
go
base
for
price
a
only.
very
2 crores.
1.5.
he got very
Although
like
Harry Brook is number 1 test
he
batter.
got base price or something or slightly more than base price, but
Yeah,
nothing great check. I remember that was when he was number 1.
These test rankings are very.
That I think was the auction where Morris went for highest.
16.25.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
auction.
Rajasthan Royals,
Ah,
yeah.
that auction.
But these ICC
But Malan was never a
ranking-
test batter
No,
number
T20
one.
he was
He
number
was only
one,
T20
yeah.
number one.
But Harry Brook right now is number 1 test batter in the world.
Don't read too much into the rankings, please.
Correct.
Sharan has a question that Nikhil, do you see Ben Stokes bowling any further in this test because it looks like a serious injury?
Oh,
I think we have deliberated on that. It looks like a groin injury, and I think maybe that's one of the major reasons why he didn't bowl much in the second test also. So I think England would be restricted to 4 bowlers.
Yeah. And see, this is a warm up here. He'll skip a warm up. He has to get ready for Ashes. No?
I think Swan never said that.
Yeah, Sidvi sir.
Yeah.
I had done that packaging when I was doing it also. I was
No, he
thinking
didn't
about
say
that.
it like that.
He didn't
I
even
know.
mean that.
Yeah, I know that.
He didn't even mean that.
I know. I know
Ashi-
that.
Ashish there has a point that pitch is slow paced. The choice of pitch and presence of slope, there'll be one ball with up and down bounce wish umpire had given out LBW to Stokes.
Well, that's exactly what we mentioned. At least I thought I am complete in agreement with Ashish. I also think it is definitely much slower than the two pitches that we've had. This is one thing you could say, and this will get up and down balls, which is why I think England decided to bat first, and they're batting knowing fully well that from here on it'll get tougher. So get as much, get 400, get 450, because those runs will be important later for them. At least that's my assessment too, and Ashish is also. It's for our sake, hope we are right in our assessment.
Yes. Crystal Days from the UK is saying, if India was batting at 251 for 4, whose day it would have belonged to?
I would have still kept the same. Pretty even Stevens.
I would have given India the day.
Even I would have given India the day.
I would
Plus
have
one.
given India the day.
Yep.
I mean, not to say that it's 80-20 or something, but I would have been 60-40. I would have given it to India.
Same. Yes.
Because I know that 250 for 4 looks good, but this can very well end at 320 also.
Yeah.
But you have the base from here. If India were at 251, as I said, I would expect 400. That will be a realistic expectation that I would have had. And once you get to 400, then with the conditions on offer, you will be ahead of the game. I mean, the other team really has to bat very well.
Praneet Datta, don't you think Jaddu was underbowled on a turner?
I think yes. I would say.
How was it a turner now?
No, it was helping him, but let's see how it goes. But to the point that he was underbowled is probably not really off the mark. What do you make of Bumrah's workload actually? He's already done 16 overs, right?
18.
18
He
overs.
was the most bowled.
Now what do you do? Let's say if it is the long haul, let's say it is no collapse and they bat according to expectation, which would mean 2 sessions. I'm just saying, like if it was normal, whether that wickets are also coming 2 or 3 in a session, and so that's it, 2 sessions. That's another 15-16 overs you're looking at.
I'm actually looking at about 12 to 14. Yeah, pretty much the same. 12 to 14 odd overs.
30
And that's
to
too
32
much.
32
overs.
overs.
Yeah, that's too
What do you
much.
do with now? So for India's sake, not only do they have to dismiss England cheaply to be ahead of the game, but also looking at Bumrah's workload, how much you're going to use him now?
Wait, I'm just going to
He
check.
can only bowl 45 overs or
He's
something
already
like that in
bowled
a test
about
match.
61 odd overs in this series. 45.
Yeah, 18. Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
So in a span of how many days? This series started on which date?
21st.
21st?
20th. Yeah.
And today is?
see, the most he's
It's been almost
3 weeks.
3 weeks. In 3 weeks, 61 overs.
No, I'm saying just this test match, because again, he's had a bit of a gap, break, he's rested. I agree. But even in a test match, how much can you
see the most
flog the horse?
Bumrah has ever bowled in an innings was 36 against England in Chennai 2021.
How many did you say? 60?
61
About
overs.
61
But
overs,
if you look at overseas, the most he's bowled is 30 overs at the Oval in 2021. So that is why your limit is somewhere between 30.
See,
And
on an
26.
average, he's bowling 3 overs a day. Average. So in that
3 overs a day?
average, I've just taken out the whole average, na.
But that doesn't make any difference. What is
But
this average?
I'm just comparing it to the IPL. This much you have to continuously keep bowling during the IPL as well.
But then you bowl not every day in IPL,
Yeah.
no? So you bowl 4 overs every 5th day, every 6th day.
Yeah.
So then that average is 5 balls
Yeah,
per day.
per
But
day.
that average doesn't make any
After
sense.
his injury, if you look at his injury afterwards, in that stress fracture period return, part 2, 28 overs. 28 overs and 28.4 overs in Brisbane and Melbourne, which is the most he's bowled. After his second injury comeback for stress fracture.
See, you know that he bowled whatever.
150
How many
overs.
did he bowl in the first test match?
He bowled a total of 43.4 overs.
And after that, he had to rest for
He
the
had to
second
rest,
test match.
yeah.
So, at this rate, you're already going to cross 35 mark. Unless you don't get them out cheaply in the first innings only. So it's, I mean, you'll have to, tomorrow, that's another headache that India will have.
See,
How much can you bowl or just
in 2021, he had the most overs he bowled in a single innings was 29 at Nottingham and 30 at Oval. First test and the last test. So here he's already bowled a total, if you have to look at it, He's already bowled 43, he's bowled 61. He'll have to bowl, if England don't collapse, your upper limit 36 and desperation 30. Don't go beyond that. Otherwise then...
That too, they'll anyways not, they'll tell now the physios and all of these people.
Oh, then you can't risk him for, see, he's anyway playing 5, you can't then risk him for one more. Then you'll be out for a longer period of time then. Bumrah can't bowl more than 40 or 50 overs for 2 test matches running when you look at it. Because he bowled that much, he bowled 35 in Brisbane, he bowled that much in Melbourne. Couldn't make it to Sydney. So,
Pranit Datta says, Shashwat saying KL has 2 scores. Hawa badal gayi. Meaning?
has to
He
score.
has to score.
Acha, has to score.
perform, yeah.
Times have changed.
Yes.
How come suddenly
No, nothing.
you have faith in KL?
I'm saying he has to score if India has to win because he's the only
No, but
batter.
you would have, in previous avatar, you would have said, nah, him I'm not counting, everyone else has
There,
to.
I have no avatar like this. It's just about the
15.
match situation is how I see
15
things.
in
It's
Sena
not like that
country.
at home I don't like KL Rahul, so I'm going after him.
15
Not
in
like that.
Australia,
I
14
will not
in New
forget those
Zealand.
rants, yaar. I
It
have
was
a
never
very
a-
good man.
because that
Like,
time
"Arey,
it
he
was-
to will keep playing, you will bring him now middle
Because
order, now
even
top
now also
order.
you're doing, I'm saying even now after 2 test matches, he's not your best batter. Right? If you end up losing this
But
test
how
series,
are you having hope, na?
I'm saying he only has to score because nobody else gives me that much faith.
That is exactly what he's saying, that imagine what times have we come in that he is giving you the maximum faith. That's what he's saying. Times have changed. जज्बात बदल गए, हालात बदल
वक्त बदल गया.
वक्त बदल गया.
समय बदल गया, मूल्य बदल गया.
Pawan, go up, scroll up. There's one. Yeah.
This one. Ashish Dhar is saying Indian stroke players may struggle on this pitch.
That's
what Nikhil
exactly.
pointed out.
Jaiswal, Gill and all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether they'll struggle or not, but it's a different dimension, and I would want to see them adjust to this. So I think it's going to be a true test of those batters. So let's see how they pan out.
Pranit Datta, Reddy should be persisted with his with him. Should be persisted with. He has the makings of a proper all-rounder like Hardik. Hope you people stop running after him. Let him play a 6th bowler.
Why do you even want a 6th bowler in Test cricket? That's the
No,
point.
but my also point is, Pranit, why this recency bias? He's done well today, undoubtedly, and looks good. But Prasidh Krishna also looked outstanding now after the first test match. He was highest wicket taker. 2 test matches later, he's out. So our moods change very fast. Now, one test match, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, that's the other thing. We are so starved for all-rounders, medium pace all-rounder, that anyone who gives us hope.
People used to call Raj Angad Bawa the next Hardik Pandya a couple of
No,
years back.
I hope Reddy can become that.
Yeah.
But again, you have
I
to
hope
look
even
at.
Raj Angad Bawa becomes that. But the only thing is that they really need to get at that level and to maintain your body at that.
And be an all-condition bowler.
Yeah, exactly.
Not every
That's
time
not
will you get
easy to
these
do.
conditions.
That pace and then
who
going
is
out to
your
bat.
all-condition bowler now? Who's it? Cameron Green, he's got that back stress fracture. His batting seems to have gone for a toss. And he's not bowling also.
Ben Stokes struggles to bowl.
Pat Cummins.
Pat Cummins.
Pat Cummins the bowler, yeah. Pat Cummins the batter, highly underrated. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Looking for.
Stark also then.
No, Stark.
Then to Chris Wokes also.
But Vokes needs conditions.
Yeah.
These conditions will help him.
But Cummins,
The legend.
Patty Cummins, highlight.
He is Clark Kent.
Clark Kent.
आशीष दर Stokes to McCullum SUV से nano पर आ जाते हैं.
But they've given up on that approach long ago. I think they've gone back to playing cricket.
Thankfully. Yeah.
Headmaster. Like that.
Headmaster. निखिल सर इंडिया कोई टेस्ट ओडीआई T20 अगर कोई टीम टक्कर देती, if there's any team that challenges India, it's Australia, isn't it? They are always one step ahead of India.
But Headmaster, I completely agree with you, and I think. But if you look at India in England, they've also served up some good series. Last time it was a 2-all draw. What a series it was! Previous to that, they won the series when India travelled. So it is fun to see. Also, let's not forget South Africa is another place where we haven't had great time. The best we've done is just
1-1.
drawn
Two
series.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I agree. In terms of overall fun, I mean, nothing beats an India-Australia series. That I agree.
The last
Numero uno.
BGT, the last BGT itself was so enthralling.
Yeah.
We had bat and ball was equal at that time. Not here. Saurav Goyal, huge fan of Nikhil, makes a lot of sense. I can listen to him the whole day. Guys, I've made it to PhD in law. Wow. Wish me luck for my new academic journey.
Wow,
Wish you all the
Saurabh,
best,
many
Saurabh.
congratulations. Yeah.
PhD in law.
Be in touch with us when we get into legal tangles. We'll get in touch with you.
Sports laws and all those things.
Help us out. And thank you so much for your kind words, Saurabh.
And I'll need your help because I am also about to start law very soon.
Law you're starting?
Yeah.
You told me something else, yeah?
No. With it.
Much is he going to do? You guys have troubled him so much, he has decided
Vakil
to
Babu.
leave cricket and
Right now.
not right now. You
No, I
yourself
didn't.
are saying, I didn't say it.
No, I'm saying law to anybody can do from anywhere.
Nitish Reddy.
Acha,
Yeah.
you tell me something and you're doing
No. It's, I'll tell you after.
Pranit Datta.
I
I've always rated him highly.
I think he's
KL.
talking about Nikhil, I guess.
No, must be his previous comment. What is that? Reddy.
Reddy.
Okay, ready.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought
Tomer.
that it was in response to Saurabh.
I think it's a continuation of what he must have said. So I think he's talking about Reddy, that he's rated him very highly. That's good. Good on you. Okay, let's go.
Ashish Chandelier has a comment that Nikhil, do you think England also chose to bat first because their bowlers would grind hard in the they did grind hard in the first two test matches and less recovery time. Also, what do you think should runs be counted when LBW appeal is umpire's call?
Ooh, that's an interesting one actually.
Runs are not counted as of now. Yeah. As soon see, basically because
I understood what he's saying. I'm just trying to think whether it should be or not.
it should ideally be because I thought this can be a very big loophole. If somebody has a review and somebody gets leg by and it's the last ball of the game, 1 run required, and that person runs, you can easily undo that by taking a review without any reason. So it's very easy to do that. I've thought about this a lot of times.
It is.
It's very
You've thought about it.
yeah, exact the situation.
Good.
That's why.
Akhil says that whatever you guys predict, the opposite will happen. Please predict something against India. Akhil, thank you for having faith in our superhuman powers. And if you really think whatever we say, the exact opposite happens, then
We are all Bhagwan.
so say that India will lose the test match, he's saying. So then they will win.
Thanks, Akhil, for making us feel ki Apunij Bhagwan.
Apunij Bhagwan. Thanks, Akhil. Very kind of you, yeah. Priyanshu says, this is a track where scoring runs freely and taking wickets both are difficult. This is a test of patience. The good news for India is England don't have a good spinner. So only three pacers.
And one of them is making a return after 4 years.
Okay, final comment of the night. We'll take that before we wind up. And this is Shubham Garg. How can it not be Shubham Garg? He basically is pointing out that KL back to old one inning, nothing after that. After he got out for 52 in the second.
In second innings at Edgbaston.
And yet you say that you like KL. Wow.
No. I just
See, the thing with this platform, I'm just saying, whatever you say is always there. And people, as you know, like Akhil, they listen to us so carefully, they keep a track of everything. You may forget what you have said, but the internet doesn't forget.
Shubham Garg is basically saying that he got 52 in one
And at that time you had said, bus, it's the same thing, it'll happen one inning, now he won't get any more.
No, he
runs.
got 100 after that.
That's what, so he's saying.
But my only point, even now, I still maintain by what I'm saying that KL Rahul, the only problem with him even now is that in this series where everybody is getting 200s, 100s, he's getting 50s and 100s. By the end of the series, again,
Then-
he will be in the top 3 or 4 batters out of the 6 batters. Then there's no point. Then of course the sword will be on his neck, because as soon as when it comes down to the fact that you end up.
I agree with that. I mean, not agree, but I respect your opinion. My point is, why are you then pinning your hopes on him?
Because
You should have said that
I'm
this
pinning
done.
my hopes on him because I still feel that he's a very talented and a very good batter. It's just that he needs to play like he should play. Not like that it could be my last test match. Every time he's playing, it feels like he's playing for his life. That cannot be the case. He needs to play freely. And the day he plays freely, he looks
But
better
this is not a
than the
pitch
rest.
to play freely, na?
Freely as in free, mentally free. He should be. without any stress.
Okay, on that note, we're going to take your leave. Thank you very much for joining us on another edition of Match Point. I hope you enjoyed it. Do give us a like. That's the only thing that we ask for. Do put in a comment. We take all comments, love, hate or whatever. I don't read them, but you can put it. Shashwat reads all of them, so for his sake. But take care, be good. It's a important session coming up tomorrow, first session, day 2.
Yeah, but is Root getting to his 37 ton?
Yeah.
Or he's getting out on
Yeah,
19?
That's an
he's
easy
getting
answer.
it, yeah.
But the probability of that happening are much greater than that. Anything can happen. Why you think he's not getting? He's getting.
He's getting.
We'll see you tomorrow. Anything you want to add? Anything you saw? Anything under the sun? Your family problems or anything? Anything you can mention? What you're planning to do
Gulati sir, it took him 3.5 hours yesterday to reach.
to reach? It was a lot of rain.
Yeah.
But you didn't take the metro.
I took the metro. It
Even
was
then?
very slow.
And surprisingly, I reached.
And even like, there was a stretch of about 800 to 900 meters from the metro station to my home, and it was a lot of water. And it was very difficult to find any rickshaw or something like that to reach. So it was a
So
tough
that means
night.
it poured in Delhi and Gurugram. It didn't rain that much in our side.
We did.
No, I mean, I
See, sir,
There was
normally
water everywhere right outside our
my car
office.
was,
It
my
was
half
steady
tires
rain.
were in water.
This car
in
was,
office.
if you got out there, we couldn't get out of office.
Yeah.
Which part of the
It was
world is
very
stays in? I
tough
don't know.
yesterday.
in our area,
Which
it's
there was
only
no-
separated
No,
by
I
one
got a call
highway.
from my daughter saying like it's pouring. When I went there, like put all the balcony furniture inside. It never happens. Rained that badly.
But
It
very
did, but it didn't. It was like then became steady rain. It was not.
Later, but half an hour of cloud burst is what caused this across Delhi NCR.
No, but
Wasn't-
very surprisingly, I reached till my home even in quicker. It takes me 45 minutes, although. But yesterday I
That's
reached in
surprising.
38 minutes. But just the last stretch which I was just telling you, that took me 2 hours, 1.5 hours. But till there, I reached in 38 minutes. I was like, I'm so lucky. And at that moment, only Gulati sir had texted on the group that it's taken so much time and all of that.
That's terrible.
And I was feeling that I am so lucky I've reached so soon. And then I reached, and there was 1 hour I was stuck over there. My phone got switched off, and all of that
But
happened.
one thing is for sure. Whenever I see storms here,
So then, how did you reach your home quicker than anything? Eventually, you reached late. na?
Eventually, I reached.
Say
late.
that, na?
Yeah,
Just now you said
eventually
usually I reach, but
I reached home. Like if I how do
you
if
didn't reach home.
walk was 2 minutes walk.
Huh, but-
I had a vehicle. Yeah. Eventually, I reached late only then.
Usually I take about
whatever it is, the storms here in Delhi NCR, I think there are a lot of paparazzi cameras up there
Yeah.
clicking, click, 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 click.
Ah,
Such
but
frequent
no, but it's
lightning.
all it's
was
global
so bad
warming.
yesterday.
Look
So
at
bad.
the floods that are coming in Himachal. There are floods
Himachal
in
was
Europe and all. Yeah,
disastrous.
global warming is a real thing. People don't realize.
Plus, in Spain and Greece, there is heat waves, which is like comparable to our heat waves that were there in May.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Things are changing. We need to act quickly. Be responsible citizens, all of you also.
By
Seriously.
electric cars.
Electric cars and be carbon neutral in your house. Learn to dispose of waste. Use less of plastic. So many things we can do. Yeah.
One thing we have to all eliminate. Air conditioners, they are the biggest
Yeah,
contributors.
there are. But what do you do when the summer is so bad?
I know.
I agree. It's a catch-22. What do you do?
I know. And plus, your buildings in this country are not.
You have to merge.
environment
As
friendly
I
at
said,
all.
I'm going to stay in the hills. I retire and stay in there without AC.
Hope the hills
Yeah.
exist.
That's good,
at
yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
When do you think I will
Yeah.
retire? Yeah? You're saying as if some 100 years later.
15, 20 years
No,
later.
no, why
But the rate of modernization, we don't
You're
know.
not wishing me well. I can retire earlier also. Yeah. Let's see.
Let's see.
Nico Rosberg.
Going out on
What
a
happened
high.
to? He retired.
He retired after
becoming
becoming the F1 champion at 31.
I
Yeah.
think the
Virat Kohli. Nobody expected him to retire when he did.
Yeah.
36, yeah.
Chalo, okay. Bye bye.
See you.
Take
Nandri,
care.
Vanakkam, Shubhratri, Shabba Khair. Eat your vegetables.
And
open
don't trouble
schooling.
your mother.
And subscribe to Sports.
Subscribe to Sports Today.
Don't trouble your mother.